Every Easter we receive a special offering and we give 100% of it away. This year our project is just outside of Managua, Nicaragua, and it's a ministry called Chosen Children. And I sat down with the national director, Guillermo Morales, to talk about the ministry. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
I've been to different places in Central America. This is my first time to Nicaragua.
Okay.
What did the volcano mean? Is there historical significance about the volcanoes here?
The indigenous people of Nicaragua beloved many things about the land they lived in. Nicaragua is the land of lakes and volcanoes, and both were great forces to be respected. One volcano, which you see, is the Messiah volcano, and they believe it was the very doorway into hell. When times were not good, they would sacrifice women and children into the volcano, a sacrifice they were willing to make in hopes of a better time. Witchcraft is an old world practice that even if you don't believe in it, it can still cause a lot of pain and anguish. No one knows this better than a woman in our Carlos Fonseca congregation.
As a young girl in the city of Managua, I had to grow up more quickly than I should have. With an abusive father, I became a victim before I even had the words to describe what was happening to me. My mother blamed me and became jealous of the attention my father was giving me. I didn't want this. With each assault, my mother began to beat me more and more. She even tried to curse me, using the witchcraft of the ancestors in hopes of ruining my life. Day after day, my mother would follow me to school with a switch, beating me, chasing me, until the very moment I was safe in a class. How can any child thrive with the fear of what you will face once returning home? Parents should provide a safe place, somewhere that children feel nurtured. But by the time I was 11, I was kicked out of my home, forced to make my own way in life as a child. Even still, my mother's fire would find me and she would chase me to school and shout curses at me. For years, I wandered the streets homeless, and at 19, I found a church where I heard about God. I would ask God that one day He might give me a home of my own, so that one day I could make a safe space for my own children. Shortly after this, I fell in love and became pregnant with our first child. My mother still cursed me, sneaking into my husband's home at night and pouring lemon juice on my hair in hopes that our children would be lost. But God protected me and my children through all 4 of my pregnancies. To escape my mother, and with a growing family, we moved in with my husband's sister in a larger home away from the city. But my sister-in-laws refused to welcome me into their family. They would throw me and our kids outside regularly to spend the night left alone in the rain and the heat, and tried to convince my husband that we were not good enough for him. Finally, my husband was convinced and chose his family over our children. He turned against me, and together they kicked us out of their house for good. With nowhere to go at 29 years old, with 4 children to care for, all I could do was beg to God to deliver us from being sacrificed to nature, to spare me and my children's lives from the uncertainty of the next day. God saw me and my children. He cares for the least of these, and we were viewed as the very last. The people in our communities that would normally be discarded, He rescues us from the gates of hell. And so God answered my prayers. The community leaders gave us a vacant plot of land to call my own. Chosen Children Ministries heard about our story through church and was able to build us a house that would become our permanent home. This house looks plain, but in a place with so much need. This home provides us everything we could ask for to thrive. With a locked door to keep my family safe, a dry place to sleep to keep my family from getting sick, and a supportive church community that looks out for each other so that I can earn a living, this house represents a break in the cycle of poverty. This land, whose fire has been used to strike fear in the hearts of the most vulnerable, is now a place of joy, a place of wonder, a place of hope.